So if you've got a plan in place, then you could weather the storm and navigate through all those minefield and still potentially come out ahead. So
welcome to another episode, Tfteam podcast series, Dollars to Dream.
wow, new name. I like that.
There you go. We're always coming up with new things and we want to help you. All right. So we're talking about the news. What's happening in the news today that can be instrumental to us and our financial security and future.
Our paycheck is going to get bigger.
Your paycheck, no. My paycheck, yes, because it's for the low income bracket people.
Everybody benefits from the tax break. And I'm on the same tax bracket as you.
So I'm going to benefit biglier.
I like that, a new word.
Right?
A new word, biglier. Okay.
Right,
yes.
because the percentage wise it's gonna show a bigger impact probably on my paycheck than yours. So tell us a little bit about what's that? When does that kick in, or has it already kicked in?
Yeah, it actually has already kicked in. So one of the promises that Mark Carney Liberal government did is that they were going to give a middle class tax cut, and so the lowest tax bracket is at 15%, and it's scheduled to go down to 14% by next year. But in between, it has gone from 15 to 14 and a half starting July 1st.
Right.
And then by the end of by 2026, it should go down to 14%. So we got a half of a percentage. It
adds up.
It definitely adds up.
So this is, of course, to help combat what we're experiencing in terms of higher prices, and we did see that inflation in May was 1.7, I think 1.7%. So things are holding steady in terms of inflation rates. So we're seeing inflation numbers, still prices for commodities like meat prices, egg prices, still, going up. It's going up. So with inflation going up, markets are also going up at the same time. What does that mean for the Bank of Canada decision coming soon?
Yeah, so the Bank of Canada is kind of afraid of this new word called stagflation. So that's not necessarily, if you're an economist or if you're if you follow these things, it's probably not a new word. So it's basically where the growth of our economy, our GDP, is stagnant, stays the same, while inflation is going up. So they're afraid of that. That's like a double whammy. They don't mind inflation going up as our GDP goes up. So because of that, they're kind of depending on which economist that you talk to, the next Bank of Canada, the rate decision, which is scheduled for Wednesday, July 30th, they're thinking they're going to stay pat, right? Because they're afraid that inflation will continue to rear its ugly head, and they want to see what the tariffs are also going to do. By July 21st, we're entering into a bilateral agreement with the U.S. So maybe we just got the big beautiful bill. Maybe we'll get
beautiful bill.
Now maybe we'll get a big beautiful agreement. Right? And if that's the case, then the Bank of Canada would probably in a better position to figure out what strategies to do. So right now it's stay and pat because we don't know what's happening. So let's keep it as is. So that's what most economists are saying about the Bank of Canada rate to stay at the 2.7.
And I think also that Canadians, the economists and so on, they're worried because we did see announcements of tariffs on certain countries this week. So they're still worried that we might face tariffs, future tariffs, because the deadline is looming. So I guess the Bank of Canada has to weigh all of these decisions.
That's right.
Because even if we lower the rates and we just push growth, it might go up too fast. And we might be that 0.5% might not mean much if inflation goes back up.
Exactly. And may have no impact. So let's not, it's like cards. Don't show up all your cards yet. All right.
You don't play cards. Look at you.
Right. So let's wait and see. The good thing is the Canadian stock market is up. I
It's
mean,
up.
year to date, we're still at 9%, higher than the US, higher than the Dow, higher than the S&P and the Nasdaq. All the US markets are all up also, but the Canadian
It's
is
outpacing the
out.
US.
Yeah, elbows up,
There
Canada,
you
right?
go. There you
Elbows
go.
up. So,
Invest in Canadian stocks.
yeah,
The
diversify.
Diversify.
Diversify. I mean, I talk about elbows up. I mean, do what you can.
Yeah,
Buy Canadian, but bottom line, when it comes to your portfolio, it's about diversification. And
that's right.
Canada is only like 2%
Yeah,
of the world equities. So by having all your eggs in one basket
it's
may
not going
not
to be
be to
sufficient
your
to achieve
yeah.
that growth that you're looking
And
for, right?
what is Canadian anymore, right?
Yeah,
Everything is so global.
yeah.
TD, CIBC, RBC. When I go to Antigua, I see CIBC in Antigua.
Scotiabank. You're supposed to see
I know
Scotiabank in it. Yeah,
Scotia, and then when I go to the U.S., which I don't anymore, but when I used to, there's a great deal of TD.
TDs. Yeah,
So
yeah.
things are global.
So, what do you think about in terms of houses? Is the market still because we're seeing headlines that suggest that it's still not sales are not picking up.
No,
So
no,
people are still not buying houses, even though the
no.
prices are coming down.
Yeah, so
It's an
it's all about
affordability issue.
exactly. You hit the nail on the head. If I don't think I'm gonna have a job next year,
Yeah.
why am I gonna go on and take on the biggest purchase of my lifetime
Mhm.
and commit for 25 to 30 years if I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure that I'm gonna have a job? So what we're seeing, there's a bit more supply out there,
Yeah.
all right, but the demand is still not there. Again, it depends where, right?
Yeah.
Like certain pockets of Toronto, I mean, they're selling like hotcakes, and prices are going up. But if you're looking for a condo, the condo market is kind of stagnated, especially the 400, 500 square feet studios. Nobody's buying those because
Yeah.
you can't raise a family with that. So if you're looking for a condo, one room condo, or maybe even one bedroom, you're probably in a good position to negotiate with the seller.
So all that's happening in terms of news stories. So keeping you updated there because it's important to take these factors into consideration, right? And the team where we work, we take these things into consideration. The high uncertainty, and that's how we decide. Some of the things that are best for you in terms
Yeah.
of your investments, right?
And you could benefit from that.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett says basically, you should be nervous when people are greedy,
Yeah.
and greedy when people are nervous.
That's right.
So it's kind of if you remember my CSC2 class where I talked about the odd lot theory,
Yeah.
right? Whereby you do the opposite of what small investors
That's
are
right.
doing. So if you've got a plan in place, then you could weather the storm and navigate through all those minefield and still potentially come out ahead. So
And I'm going to end on this note because you've been talking about it for the last 4 weeks or so.
okay.
Gold,
Oh,
gold just edging a little lower this week because of the uncertainty, but
edging a bit higher.
higher. Sorry,
This was
higher.
because of the uncertainty. Yes.
Yeah. And I did see a headline. I think it was on BNN, Bloomberg, or somewhere that suggests that gold is people are gravitating towards it, but still it's underbought. Like not a lot of people are going towards it, but maybe that's where
Yeah.
potential is, right?
Yeah.
You just mentioned
Yeah.
that point where odd lot.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people are not going towards it, but maybe they should.
Yeah. So again, we've talked about diversification.
Yeah.
I'm not saying going all in, right? Like my cars analogy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Put
yeah,
all
yeah.
put all my chips and go all in, but diversify. Maybe have instead of just betting on gold, maybe just bet on precious metals.
That's
which
right.
Gold is a component, and then maybe 5 to 10% of your portfolio in precious metals, and it's always kind of that safe haven.
Yeah.
Right. When the world goes to hell in a handbasket, people kind of gravitate towards gold and precious metals. We're also kind of seeing a bit of a rally in silver, but not to the extent of gold. So
All right.
there are opportunities out there.
So, after you come back from your dentist, you're going to have a gold-plated teeth or tooth.
You had to tell them.
So look at you. You're fully invested in gold.
If I'm not back next week, something awful went down this afternoon at the dentist.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much for watching today. We hope those news articles there that we shared, those news headlines, can help you be a little bit more, cognizant of what's going on and make better financial decisions. But to help you make better financial decisions and turn your dollars into dreams, keep watching our podcast right here on YouTube. Contact the team, reach out to them, and we'll be happy to help you, whether it's from investing to insurance needs to helping you plan for your estate, right? Because you never know what's going to happen and the future is uncertain, right? We're here to help. So thank you for watching. Have a good one. And we wish this guy, the gold guy, the golden years he is in, all the best.
All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.